Good evening and welcome to the joint workshop of the Raymond Budget Finance Committee and the Select Board. The meeting is now in order, and we will hand the introduction over to the Town Manager, Glenn Michalowski.
Thank you, Chair Lockwood. So this is the first of several budget workshops for the FY27 budget, which I'm pleased to introduce tonight. So when I stepped into the role in mid-November, typically we probably would have been sort of in the midway of preparing this in my office. So I just want to thank the department heads who were, way ahead of it. They had their stuff ready to go, and we started to put that together on sort of a compressed time frame. So everything you have in front of you is intended to be sort of a holistic guide, the beginning with some reference material to sort of inform you and the public on this process. But tonight, we're going to have our department heads present their departmental budgets. So as you go through these binders, if you find anything helpful, or if there's more of something you want to see, less of something you want to see in future years, just give me some of that feedback. The budget is a living document. It's designed to evolve as we go through these discussions and get direction from the board, so that the final proposals align with your policy goals and the services you want to deliver to your residents. So our role as staff is to present a budget that we believe best advances those goals and put that in front of you and get your feedback. But at its core, this budget focuses on maintaining the level of service that residents have come to expect. There are several longer range considerations reflected in the FY27 budget. Some of the new requests you're going to see is a request for a full-time custodial position as the JSMS stuff comes online, and more of that need is coming in the future. This sort of is kickstarting that. There's a restoration of a front office position that was eliminated in 2020. We have an anticipated retirement in the front office in 2027, so that's part of a succession plan to develop a deputy tax collector. You'll see a lot of the external cost drivers in this budget are utilities, insurance, solid waste, labor agreements, which we don't have a ton of control over, but we do have some. So over the next 3 meetings, the departments are going to present their accomplishments of the past year, their goals for the coming year, and walk you through their budgets. So I'll invite up the first department and the library director to present the library's budget.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming. So I'll keep it short and easy for you. I'm just going to go through the lines, go over the ones that are increasing or changing.
Richard, so, 1 second.
Yeah.
It's tab 6, and the sheets are at the back in tab 6 if you're looking for the sheets. Sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you.
Good. Okay, cool. So the first line is salaries. So we're starting off with a bang. It's a big one. I'm asking for a new employee for 20 hours part-time. This person between like $18 and $19 an hour. This person will help with circulation, with coverage, and library programs, most likely the youth services. Right now we only have one part-time person doing all the youth services, and it's a lot. And if you were here over the summer, you saw me doing a lot of story times. And while I like it, it's not the best use of my time. So that's what that is. The next increase is also kind of a big one, from $3,000 to $6,000 for software, number 3210. This covers just like basic increases, the 4% COHA, which is our integrated library system. Constant Contact, which is how we do our newsletters, goes up from $332 to $440. But the really big one is another day of van delivery service for our books, because we only get one right now, and it's basically completely subsidized by the state. So we pay like $110. But if you've ever gotten interlibrary loans through the library, it takes like 3 weeks to get a book, which is, I would like to cut down on that. So I'm asking for $2,300 more for that one day, which seems like a lot, but it is. I hope to get it down to less than a week to get a book from another library. Dues and publications just going up a little bit to $600. Supplies, again, just general increases so we can buy those crafts for the children's librarians. And of course, like coverings and whatnot. Postage, we send out a lot of thank you notes because I do get some nice donations. I've been sending out overdue notices, which really do help get these lost books back because we don't charge late fees, so it's a nice incentive to be like, hey, this costs money. Okay, a couple more big ones and a couple changes actually, what you're going to see. So the books and media line right now says 3,200. That should be 30,000. Whereas the new line, the digital media line, should be 5,500. So it's not an actual increase, it's just like a reallocation of funds. And really, books are expensive and they're our lifeblood. But we also have a bunch of different collections. If you don't know, we have a library of things. I just bought some fishing poles that I'm excited to set up and see if those rent out. We're starting a video game collection, which is really exciting. We started on Friday, and 2 have already checked out, which I'm happy with. And what else? Digital media. So this is, again, a new line. I tried to do it last year. We kind of just put it back into the books and media line, but I think it's important to separate it because we have 2 digital services that we offer, Hoopla and Cloud Library. They're both kind of different the way they charge us. I can get into the nitty-gritty about pay per use versus licensing. But needless to say, Hoopla is extremely popular. I had people from Portland that want it, and they obviously can't have access to it. It's for Raven residents only. So it's a really nice thing to cover. So I'm going to do $5,500 for that.
You already have that now, though, don't you?
Yeah, totally.
Where is it now?
I'm just taking it out of the books and media.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't spend nearly enough. Has anyone ever used Hoopla here?
Yeah.
So have you been kicked out at one point?
I didn't.
Or like you get that note that says like your library has met the.
Yes, that's why I get books at between the hours of like 2 a.m.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't want you to have to do that. So I'm going to increase it. It will still happen once in a while, but you know, it goes up from like $200 to $300 a month, which does help. And then Cloud Library, like those books are so expensive. It's like $85 for an audiobook. You don't really own it. You only get it for maybe 24 circulations or a year, especially if it's a popular book. So those do cost money. People do check them out. Knowing huge to library programs, that's great. The friends really help with that too. Heating, this is just in case we use heat pumps, but this is like the oil line. Phone and utilities, small increases just in case. We're almost always at like 100 or 95% of our budget spent. So just covering that. And that's it.
So Richard, before they have some questions for you, just that this is mostly a technical workshop, but for the folks at home and folks new to the board, do you want to highlight any accomplishments from the last year or just a broad overview of the services you provide for residents who might not use the library?
Had a good year for programming. We've had 242 different programs, which I think is a lot considering we only have a staff of 3. We've gotten, where are the new patrons? That was exciting. I mean, the program attendance was good, 4,000 plus people. We had 652 participants in summer reading. A lot of that is the children's librarian. Again, she does so much for a part-time person. That's why I am asking for another person to help her. 10,000 people visiting is a great thing. We've really upped our interlibrary loans because we joined the Chickadee Consortium. If you guys know about it, it's Bridgeton, Harrison, Casco, and Naples. That was a couple years ago, but people are really getting used to checking out books from them. And there is talk about including the Balsam Network, which is like 65 very, very small libraries, but they use the same integrated library system as us. So that would also expand the collection a lot. And eventually they've been saying 6 months for like 2 years, but eventually the state will get us into MainCat, which is like the massive system. So then you can request books from Portland by yourself. Right now, Rachel or I have to do that for you. And yeah, I mean, it's been a great year. People love coming to the libraries.
Donations are up.
Yeah, donations are up. We got some good donations. The friends are very friendly. And yeah, what else have we done? I'm excited about the video games. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, any questions or want to know anything else?
Okay.
I'm sorry, I just want to make sure that I heard you correctly.
Yes.
The 6400 is actually 30,000, you said?
Yes.
And then you're moving 2,000 of that to 6401
That is correct.
to be 55?
Yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure I heard that correctly.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Your current part-timer has no interest in going full-time?
Sorry?
Does your current part-timer?
No. I can double check, but it's a no. I would love if she did.
Any other questions or comments?
Revenue, your estimated revenue to come in was 0 last year, is going to 10 grand this year. What's up?
I genuinely usually don't touch that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we get donations, and I guess that's usually what it is.
I set up a separate fund for him because his contributions were getting quite large.
Okay.
So we set up a separate account for him.
We don't have
So
any actual
for scholarships. Which one are you looking at?
Nothing. Where was that last time?
It went into there's a new account for it. I made that number last year. Because that's when you first got that first $10,000.
Yeah, there's an 8,500 and then
That was last year.
So is that supposed to be over there, or is that?
It is not showing here. It's not on here.
No, and the
It's a
revenue,
separate account. It's on another report.
So
Because it's like he set it up so that it's kind of like a scholarship fund, or he can use it for, like if you had all of a sudden something broke, or you had something major you wanted to purchase to add to the library,
yes, and if
he
we
would have that there, but it's not showing.
But so you're saying last year's was probably, you had one for 10?
Yeah,
And
not more.
and then there was another one that came in after that.
Yep.
you don't think that's this, do you? That just got put in the wrong spot? The 10 and the 3?
No, because it's not a Fund 43
Okay,
account, it's a Fund 10.
okay.
I had to move 5 of it over for you to spend last year. So out of the 10, 5 stayed in that G account.
They read over?
Yeah. I will double check on that though to make sure that that's not a misplacement.
And it is okay if you didn't read it, but I do have like deliverables in the proposal. Like I want to get like 10% more digital content circulated, 10% increase to programs for the new employee to kind of justify that. So,
And the new employee is 20 hours, you said?
yep. And it'll kind of cover when Karen's not there. She'll cover like the shifts that Karen's not there, so there'll always be someone kind of in the children's room.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You speak really fast.
I do.
Did you cover the travel and training increase?
I mean, that's just a general, conferences cost money. I just spent money today. I'm going to go to the American Library Association, so that's $450 for like a ticket. The friends do tend to pay for that, but I would really like to encourage my other employees to do it, or just to go to like the main Library Association conference too. That happens every year. It's a great way to meet other librarians. So that's kind of what it's for.
Okay.
Yeah. I know I did not, so thank you.
if there are no other questions, I'll invite Kurt up.
Any other questions? Everybody all set? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all. Have a lovely night, and you know where to find me.
Have a good night, Richard.
You guys, good luck.
And Kurt, before we get into the nitty gritty, would you just give an overview of assessing and
Sure.
what you're doing this year? And
Yeah, so the assessing department, as most of you are aware, we're entering into the back half, the second half of our revaluation project. It's been 20 years since the last revaluation, so we're expecting a pretty substantial change to property valuations here this summer. Normally, our duties are pretty routine. Every year, we go through the same cycles, but with the reval, there are quite a bit of additional responsibilities. Most of the assessing-related costs are coming out of 3 different lines. You have the assessing operational budget, which covers our day-to-day, most of our day-to-day functions. We have the revaluation reserve, which is the reserve account that we are using to fund the revaluation and associated costs with that. And then there are a few costs that we incur that qualify as TIF-related expenses that we pull out of the TIF reserve. Are you guys finding my sheets okay? No? Oh.
It's under general government.
Sorry,
Yeah,
it's
tab
right
6.
after.
It's in the front.
I'm almost there, Sam.
Yeah, it's
General government.
where these folded sheets are.
Very first.
It's the second one. There it
Tab
is.
6 is the very.
Yeah, I'm in tab 6.
Thank you, Mom.
It's under general government.
This way.
Yeah,
Goes this way.
Either way.
like a long, small one.
Next one.
Oh,
Same spot.
That assess it.
Might have run out of the big paper.
Assessors.
Well, specifically in regards to the revaluation, just to give you folks and the general public who might be listening an update, in the next couple of weeks, early March, KRT will begin sending letters to residents who they were not able to connect with this last summer, asking for appointments. So these are what we call our callback appointments. So if they've been to your property and they've measured your home, taken a photo, done what they can do, but you were at work or what have you, you can expect a letter from KRT in the coming weeks asking you to schedule an appointment with them, and they will come to your home to complete the inspection. I believe they're going to take 3 appointments per hour. So if they schedule you for 9 o'clock in the morning, sometime during that hour, you can expect to see them. They'll have 3 site visits per hour per person, and they'll do these in blocks. So Raymond is a large town, so they'll send out letters and do appointments in the northern part of town, and then they'll move to another part of town so that they're not wasting their time traveling big distances between appointments. But expect those. So if you haven't encountered KRT staff, it's not because they weren't at your home. It's that they were probably there and you may not have known it. So this will be an opportunity to interact with them, have your home inspection completed. Obviously, that's a choice every resident can make, whether or not they schedule that appointment or not. We're encouraging residents to schedule the appointments. The more accurate the information that KRT has on properties, the more accurate this project will end up in the end. It's quite an expensive project, so we want it to be as good as it can be. So we're asking for everyone's cooperation there. As far as the operational budget, I don't have a lot, as you can see, I don't have a lot of line items. There's been changes to basically 3 of the line items. The salary line is the assessing admin position. That position was expanded this last year by the previous town manager. That position's taken on additional roles and responsibilities and was received an increase out of the admin line, but now that's kind of shifting back over to the assessing line. So that's why the increase is there in the assessing line. So the funding for that position is coming out of the assessing department 100% now, but that position does provide support to the town manager, to Public Works, and also does website communications, milfoil, many projects.
This book?
That book. So that, although that is an assessing admin position and handles a lot of assessing things, that position actually handles a lot of workflow that comes through the town office in Raymond. The other line that has a change is the deed line. I'm expecting that may get reallocated. Originally, our request was for $500. It shows $3,000 here, but I'm expecting that's going to get $1,800 of that's probably going to get allocated to the admin line, because tax collector related deed charges go to the admin line, and I'm not expecting my charges to be that high this year. So that's something that it's a net neutral. You'll see the admin went down 1,800, mine went up 1,800. I'm guessing we're probably just going to flow that over to the admin line. And the other change is the software. For a couple of years now, we have been receiving some fairly sizable increases for the cost of the CAMA software, the web hosting of house and assessment data, and we received another increase this year of about $2,500. I don't think there's a whole lot that we can do in the short term about that. Given that we're in the midst of a revaluation on that platform, it still is I think the best platform that we can get. But you can see the increase there. No other changes on the operational line. The revaluation reserve account. Last year, you might remember we had requested $40,000, which would have been the final request to fund the revaluation. I went through the budget process with the Budget Finance Committee and the Select Board, but somehow through some oversight, it didn't end up on the town meeting warrant, so it didn't get funded. So kind of back again to fund that additional $40,000 required to complete the revaluation. It's not in the operational spreadsheet. You'll see it in the CIP when you look at the CIP next week. And other than
That's not on the
that,
sheet at all right now is what you're saying, right? Oh, it's down here, okay.
I make a note in my operational line, but you'll see the request, I think, in your CIP budget.
Correct. That'll be coming out of capital reserve and the
Yeah.
contribution to it.
Yeah. On the TIF side, it's pretty well static. Currently, 20% of my salary is funded through the TIF at $7,200, and we are using TIF funds to support GIS projects and parcel mapping projects that we have throughout the year. And that's all I have. If anyone has any specific questions, I'm happy to answer them, or if anybody has any questions about the revaluation, I can answer those as well.
Any questions over here? Any questions from the Select Board?
Okay.
Okay,
Yep,
next.
thank you very much.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Just, I'm sure it'll be covered later on, but where are we putting the potential legal costs for appeals? So I see that, we're trying to have enough funds, so there's the 40,000, but then there's the note not including potential legal costs on appeals. So do we account for that at all? Anyway.
What I had in my budget memo, and my budget memo, I think, is in the CIP section, but what I'm going to recommend is that we draft a warrant article and we fund tax appeals out of the overlay, and then we will look to the Select Board to assign an appropriate overlay at tax commitment. In order to use overlay for any purpose, though, it must be appropriated, which means we'll need a warrant article for it. But by doing that, it affords some protection to the budget if we have a lot of appeals from the revaluation.
Any other questions or concerns? No?
Okay.
Okay.
I will invite
Thank you.
Jason Williams up for code enforcement.
All right, so code enforcement has seen a steady increase. We've slowly increased building permits year over year. I believe we did 38 single families last year and 6 ADUs. Some of those single families would be offset by demos.
Should be this one.
We're seeing plenty of tear down and rebuild still on the lakes. We probably will continue to see that for foreseeable future. We didn't have too many violations last year, luckily. We don't take any joy in doing night violations, but occasionally we have them, but not too many last year. Definitely seeing more interest in the ADUs. If you're familiar with LD 1829, I expect that to keep us busy next year. It's kind of like the LD 2003, but supercharged, as it would allow a second ADU, and then I expect that the planning board will be busy with some zoning issues that LD 1829 brings up, because looks like we will be rezoning parts of town, so I expect it to be busy at the planning board next year. As far as my budget goes, salaries are essentially going to be flat. It looks like we're a little under budget this year, so we can, do a COLA raise for next year and kind of be at the same level budget-wise as we expect it to be this year. Contracts, general codes mostly. We have some codification to do, and with all the code changes, ordinance changes that will be required to meet the 1829, I'm expecting some costs to be incurred there. There is a grant that is going to become available. There's no guarantee, but we'll try to get some funds from the state to offset some of those costs. Software went down. Mostly because we looked to add some GIS software this year. We did not do that. My hope is that we could carry that money over to next year, and depending on if the short-term rental initiative, what happens with that, if that goes through, we would look to add on to our permitting software a module that kind of tracks and is directly tied to VRBO and Airbnb, so that we could more accurately track and look at compliance there. Travel and trading went down a little bit, just looking at how much training we did last year. Now that I've been in for a year and a half, a little less training is involved. Chris has been on long enough where he doesn't need too much training anymore. Advertising went up, kind of going back to that LD 1829, and planning board advertising costs have gone up. So just expecting more notices to be put in the paper. The other lines are same as last year. Supplies, we get some supplies for doing inspections, but it's not too bad. Gas and diesel, like I said, same, and phone is same as last year.
So did you move the postage into advertising from?
No, I think when we talked,
It's
it's
all
going
the
into
postage
one.
is going into one now.
That's what I mean.
Under administration.
Well, no, oh, okay. So you're moving it into admin, but the
Yeah,
advertising went up, so I thought you moved that postage into that, since you were saying you were advertising more, I
Yeah.
guess.
I think so. I had a printout that showed that we spent $3,600 last year in advertising,
Yeah,
so that's why I brought that up.
okay.
So, but like I said, I'm expecting a lot more advertising next year, just because the planning board's going to be busy, and it won't be like a site plan review where that's coming out of escrow. It's going to
Right.
be coming out of our piggy bank.
Are there any other questions or concerns? Okay, all right, next. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Up next, we have Nate for Public Works. Just a little preface. We talked a little bit about this at the Budget Finance Committee, and some of the board members who I had a chance to speak to informally. His capital budget is built on our typical fleet replacement, but we're going to present to you at the March regular select board meeting about the lease programming. So depending on how that discussion goes, that may shift how his capital is built for fleet replacement. But we didn't have the contracts and stuff from Enterprise, so this is built on your traditional fleet replacement cycle currently. And then we'll meet again on the lease programming. But Nate, if you want to kick it off, talk about what you guys do and what you're planning for next year.
All right, well, I'm going to start with the operating budget, which is the 800 account, 8100 account. Salaries, I'm asking for a $50,000 increase in that. I'm going to try to change the per diem employee that we use for plowing in the winter to a full-time position. Position's been open for 2 years now. We have been unsuccessful. Hoping that this will entice a person to apply. That person will be used in the summertime for Parks and Rec, stuff like lining the field. We've put quite a bit of money into Mill Street facility now, and I'd like to have somebody on top of that down there. Contracts went up $326. That's just to cover the increase in the contract. That's for lawn mowing and facilities. Striping went up $1,110. That's going to cover. We added some handwork out on North Raymond Road for the four-way intersection, and there's usually about a 1 to 2% increase that we try to mitigate down from there. Equipment maintenance, I only went up $4,700, $4,750 on that. Unfortunately, last night, yesterday while we were out plowing, our cutting edge contractor sent me a letter explaining that the cutting edges that we use on our trucks went up over 100%, and to expect another 15 to 20% increase coming in October, November. That's going to add $25,000 to $30,000 to that item. I'm going to try to mitigate that and try to. We're not really sure what we're going to do. I did not expect that, so that's a big one to just.
How much, sorry?
100 to 150%.
No, how much total?
For cutting edges, over 30,000. Equipment rental last year, for unknown reasons, it got zeroed out. Putting $6,500 back in that. That's for small equipment that we rent throughout the year. Street signs, I went up $6,000. That $6,000 is for radar feedback signs. We're going to buy 2 of them this year and do a permanent mount, they're not trailer mount, and put them in one area, probably start with the village. Road salt, $2,000, that's a guess. We won't know what salt's going to go up until the end of June, 1st of July, before we see the salt bids. We moved $19,000 into the facilities account for utilities, so that zeroes that out. So in reality, my operating budget went up $70,686. It would look like $51,686 because of that move of the $19,000. Any other questions on that?
Do you want to do cemeteries next after, if there's no question?
Yeah, I can do whichever way you want to go. Cemeteries, the only thing that went up in cemeteries.
Well, before you move on to cemeteries really quick, so the $30,000 for the cutting edges, you said you just found this out last night, so that's not in.
That's not in there.
So there's going to be a $30,000 increase from what it is onto equipment maintenance, right?
I'm not ready to do that yet. I've got to do some price checking. I've got to call around and see if we can. That's a big jump. That's we've used this company for a couple of years for cutting edges, and there's other avenues out there to get. But that's pretty much industry standard. And what few calls I got out today was expect that. We got to look at what we have in stock. I'm not really sure what to do. That's a big bite, or a big chunk of money, I think.
So then that would fall under equipment maintenance, you said?
Equipment maintenance, yeah.
Okay.
Nathan, what did you say you have for an increase in your budget?
So if you take out the 19,000 that's moved over to facilities, 51,686.
All right.
If my math is correct.
For
I'm following.
some
your
reason,
math.
that's not the number I heard, but that's,
Well, no. If you leave the 19,000 in for utilities, that budget goes up 70,686.
Thank you.
Moved 19,000 to facilities. And what we take out of facilities is all the building utilities, heat.
The town building's supposed to
Town
have
building.
everything in it, right?
Yeah. So that actually makes my operating budget only go up 51,000, but in reality it is 70,000.
But really,
Why did the-
Probably go up another 30 though, right?
What's that?
It'll probably go up another 30.
I'm going to try. I don't think I can do the 30. I think if at the worst I'm going to split it. We'll have to figure it out. Hope that nothing catastrophic happens.
Well, with this winter, I mean, we were I think last year, we were like, oh, hopefully nothing bad happens. We're getting hammered this winter.
It's a guess, and every year your equipment gets older. We got our new truck, came in a month ago, so the truck that was causing us the most problem is parked down in San Sal. We had another one, the truck 19 is now taken its place and gobbling up money now. But we've been fairly fortunate this winter. We haven't had any huge breakdowns.
Who says
It's fine, it's fine. But I need time to look through that. That $30,000 on cutting edges, to do that and then have somebody say, whoops, we're kidding, and they drop the price down, I think it just I need to look at it in my operating budget and see what I can do.
Why did the 19,000 come out of the utilities?
We moved the utilities to one account, to general buildings, town buildings. That's
Just
where
consolidating it.
Just
Instead of having a utility in every single one of his breakouts, we put it all in one bucket.
Yeah.
And remind me one time, where did it get moved to?
I'm sorry?
Town
The
buildings?
8,200, the
No.
30, right?
No, 2,000, general government town buildings.
Oh, I looked at the waste, sorry. Yep, you're right. I was looking at the other page.
It's easier to track and project when you have like a similar commodity because I mean, general government's paying for the commodity. So if you want to project out, it's easier to track utilities out of one place. Or same thing with benefits. Instead of charging it off to each department, we can more accurately forecast if we're tracking everything in one cost center. So if that makes sense.
43 has a utility under it too.
It does.
Yeah, special, it says,
All for the streetlights.
is that what that is?
Yeah, it's for the streetlights.
Streetlights. Should
Well,
that?
We can. I think it's underneath that because of TIF, I believe.
Okay.
Because that's all in the TIF.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Just want to make sure I didn't forget something.
Wait for cemeteries?
Cemeteries, the only thing I saw for an increase in cemeteries is contract mowing. We're on the third year of a 3-year contract with them.
Still doing the software thing?
Yes, I think we were going to start trying to do that. Was Sue Look started that. And when she left the staff, we don't have the staff capacity to do it.
And what was that software for?
Isn't that the Protus?
Yeah, I think so.
I paid for that.
That's for
It's to keep track of, this
sure.
Protus, it's Proteus?
so I'm going to go
Something
with
like that?
plot thing?
Yeah, and they
It's already
have,
paid for?
yeah, I already paid it up through, I think it's good now until August. But they have all your history.
Well, this
And-
jumped from 500 to 7,000.
Would you guys mind using the mics because it's a little hard to hear you down here?
I assumed that was.
Is
the
mine
same.
on?
Yours is on, but Brenda's a little far from hers.
Oh. She can't go any further.
Sorry.
Oh, maybe she can. Sorry.
Just rip and tear.
Yeah.
Brenda, do you want me to give an overview of the restricted funds that kind of pay for some of this too, just so that they know it's not all coming from taxation?
Yeah, sure.
So Brenda did a little bit of research last week, and she can talk more about the history, but cemeteries, the community fund, and scholarships, you had an endowment in some of these places going back to the 70s. And she would know more about the history of when some of them started. But those have been sitting in Portland Trust as a restricted fund. It's an investment vehicle. It earns interest. So the current balance of your restricted fund for cemeteries, scholarships is around $649,000. So it pays back the general fund for a portion of the cemetery's costs. And you've done quite well over the last couple of years. For a second, I was worried that you guys had too much invested in equities, but I learned that it was actually restricted funds for the purpose of scholarships and cemeteries and other restricted funds. And again, if I missed anything, Brenda, feel free to add.
No, back in the 1970s, all these accounts were separate. So each person that had allocated funds to the town and gave donations, each one of those was in like a separate account, a separate bucket. And then at one point, what did we figure was like in the
2017-ish?
Yeah, all those funds were captured together and put into another account together. And at that point, the only way to separate out those funds was to do a spreadsheet. I'm still not certain how you do that when everything has already been put together. That's something that we probably should talk about. Because then Portland Trust came into the picture because they took over that bank that money was in. And now it's, yet again, it's been giving a really high yield, which is fabulous. But to try to determine which funds that were put in there initially, what each of those actually earned at this point in time, I don't know how you're going to do that.
Yeah, but I mean, the good news is you earned over
Yeah, you did.
$60,000 in interest just this past year. I think you did around 16% on that account, and that will pay back the general fund for some of those restricted expenses.
And you said that's over 600,000?
Around 649 when I
Yeah.
looked.
And we can only use it for cemetery and what?
It's there's a document.
Scholarships.
There's an originating document in the binder. I don't know
Yeah.
all of the restricted funds, but I know cemetery, scholarships, and what was the other ones? But they are restricted. It'll reflect in your audit too. You can look at your restricted funds in the audit.
What was the amount that was earned again? 16%, what was the dollar value?
It was around 60,000. Want to do town buildings?
Town buildings.
Well,
Oh, that's a question.
still would like to know about the software. Sound like,
We'll research the software.
All right.
I don't know enough about it.
because it looks like 500 to 900 carried through, and then all of a sudden it's 7,000. You're saying you paid it, but you didn't
you know
pay the
what?
7,000. You're probably paying the
We didn't.
500.
I don't think I paid it out of here either, because I didn't even know what it was when it first came in. I had to call the
Actually,
lady up.
You want to do solid
I
waste?
think I
'cause
paid
it's
it
the
out
next
of
sheet.
contracts.
I just realized that.
Which is fine. I just want to
Software,
know.
I think I paid it out of the IT budget
I just
software.
want to see what that jump is.
Okay. I'll find out.
Because if we haven't paid for it yet, I'm sure there's a cheaper, easier, faster way. Yeah, I'm interested too. Would you mind getting back to us on that? 'Cause like that's a.
And we talked about that a little bit today. I mean, for as many plots as you sell, it could be as simple as a notepad with a pencil
Yeah.
and paper. But the problem is
Here's the
you
caveat.
have historical data, and I haven't read the contract, but there was sort of a veiled threat of, well,
Yeah.
we'll charge you to get your historical data back. So
Right.
we just have to kind of do some research on how to unwind the
That was the
software if we
caveat.
wanted to look at something else. But again, if you're only selling a couple plots a year, we don't have to split the atom to track that. So we'll do solid waste next, actually, Nate, because it's
You want to do solid waste?
in order of the sheets.
All right. Solid waste. Yeah. So we went out to bid this year. Our contract is up, is up June 30th. We had two bidders. Selectmen awarded the bid to the low bidder. That's gone up considerably. I believe it was like an 84% increase. Now, there's some items in this that we're working on trying to reduce. One's a fuel charge. The other one's the dumpsters. I got another contractor I want to look at, see if we can pull the dumpsters and get that down closer to the 30, 40,000 a year for the dumpsters. And the dumpsters are at sites that we can't get the trash truck down to pick up camp roads. So it was a solution 2 contracts ago to, instead of having the truck go down down the camp road, it would give one central location for that road. I can't get up here and tell you it works great. It works okay. Picks the trash up. And the other item is the cart program, which is the new contract is an automated system. They're going to be toters or containers. You see them in Westbrook and Cumberland and whatnot. They're proposing to lease them to us for $96,000 a year. We'll never own them. That will be part of this contract and part of this bid until we change contractors. That's also subject to a 5% increase every year, as their whole contract is. If we purchase the toters and manage them, we will pay for them in this 5-year contract, and then we'll own the toters. We'll have to manage them. We'll own them. They'll be ours. So at the end of the 5-year contract, you won't have to budget the $96,000. That'll be a much smaller amount of money. You'd want to keep, I would guess, 20, 30 of them, maybe even 100 of them in stock for damages and new houses that come on and so on and so forth. It is a bit of an undertaking getting them out and managing them, but that's still $96,000 that we would save on that.
That's if we purchase them ourselves.
If we purchase them ourselves, we'll own them. They'll say Town of Raymond on them.
What do those come out to per?
There's 60 some odd dollars a piece on the, and that price changes on the volume that you buy them.
Okay.
And they're like basically twice the size of a regular trash.
60, yeah.
So you have one for trash and one for recycle.
Correct. We purchased a bunch of recycling ones. We did a program, I want to say it was 2 or 3 years ago now, and they were $63 or $4 a piece, and there's 62-gallon toters.
And what are these ones?
62.
Same thing.
Yeah. So we would gain on the recycle because we only have one small 30 right now. 30.
Correct.
So you'd end up getting a double.
Correct.
And your trash can would be the same because we allowed 2, so
Correct.
you would end up with the same amount.
Yep.
What if they get damaged by some way?
Well, that's under this program.
Or is that whose expense does that come under?
Depends which way we go, I think.
I think you'd have to.
If we own it, if they own them, they
own them. They're going to take care of them. If we go with what the contract is and what was presented to us, they take care of the whole thing. Call them up and dumpster got trashed. You got to come out and replace it. I think you'd have to, if we owned them, you'd have to look at every individual situation. What happened? Did it get hit by a car? Is it their fault? So on and so forth. They're pretty rugged. They take a pretty good hit.
Yeah, pretty heavy. So the contract that Select Board gave permission for, that has them in there now?
Correct. That's
so
in this
talking
budget.
Future, if we decide to buy them ourselves.
Well, right now, the contract is going to go into effect July 1st. The automated system is 12 to 18 months out.
You're still negotiating the contract, though.
We're still negotiating the contract. I know, and the reason I put this in the budget is I know that the contract's a contract. Right. If I fail in my negotiation with them, we know what we're at. We can go forward with that number. Where I was at. So we're 12 to 18 months before this starts. So the $96,000, if we go with this contract, the $96,000 cart program will not go in effect until they start with the automated system. They have to order 2 trucks. That's what the big holdup is. And it'll take a year to plan this and get education out to the taxpayers. So that $96,000, if you go with the contract the way it is, or we end up going that way, that 96 won't come into play this year.
Be almost 2 years.
It'll be almost 2 years.
So we have 18 months to decide if we want to buy them.
It takes a while to get them. I would like to be worked through this decision before we get to June 30th.
I don't think leasing makes sense. It's my opinion. I think that town owns them, and yeah, you're right, a case-by-case base
Yep.
might be a little bit more challenging, but at that point, we control them. Because you're talking about 5-year contract with this,
Correct.
and we're leasing them, and you said after 5 years, they become ours, or?
Nope.
No,
we
we
never
lease
own
them
them.
forever.
Right.
96,000 every year.
The advantage
Go
you
up
have,
5%.
And
Okay,
5% every year.
So yeah, I think that it makes more sense to own them.
the advantage of us owning them too, I don't, we've had Casella in some form since I've been here. I don't see them getting outbid, but you don't know. So if we go to the end of the 5 years, they don't want to extend their contract, we got to go back out to bid. We're going to start from ground zero, and we're going to have to start the whole program over again, including passing out another 4,000 or 8,000
Yep.
containers.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm thinking is the next contractor, I mean, we're getting to 21st century now. We're getting trucks that actually pick up the trash and everything. Like everybody else has that for 15, 20 years now. I mean, it's not new things.
No, it's not anything.
Other contractors have that already in place as well, right?
Well, this is the problem we had with this, is that there's no option to do how we used to do it. Just put out your
I
own.
understand that. That's what I'm saying is that, once we go to this automated system, it's not really automated, but, once we go to that system, if we change contractors, they're still going to be using that.
Correct.
So I think it makes sense for the town to own the trash cans as opposed to leasing. Leasing doesn't make any sense to me.
It didn't to me. It's a lot of work up front for us. I mean, we've got to put them together. We've got to pass them out. That's a bit of an undertaking right there. But I think once you've done that, the managing of them is really nothing to it, I don't think.
I think it's a lot to begin with, but then afterwards,
Yep.
A couple years from now, you'll forget all the pain that we went through.
Right.
Does that current people actually have the automated trucks?
No, they have to order it for our route. That's
Right, but I
why-
mean, do they have them elsewhere?
Oh, yeah. They're doing Wyndham, Cumberland, Yarmouth. I didn't bring the
I
folder.
think North Yarmouth too.
North Yarmouth,
it's not
Westbrook.
limited to them, they-
No, yeah.
Is it just the size of them for the automated system to be able to pick it up, or do they have chips? Is there any component in there that is besides just the size of the container that makes it so the automated either
The
knows it
design
can
of it
pick it
too,
up?
right?
No, you got a driver in the truck.
No, I realize that, but if we buy our own and then we switch companies, does the other company, there's
No,
a chip in
no,
ours that
no,
shows that we
no.
can't lift them up and put them in?
No.
So there's, okay.
Yeah. The only thing you got to watch out for is the smaller ones. They go to the 62-gallon toters because the smaller ones can fall out of the grab.
Yep.
So we're working through that, and I would hope by the next meeting we'll have an answer.
And the other question I have is the ones that we already did, were those the smaller ones or were
Nope,
those
it's
62?
62.
So people that have the recycling ones right now, we could potentially reuse those?
Correct. There might be one dilemma on that. We sold them to the customers. So you're going to have some people out there that are going to shrug the shoulder and say, that's fine. You're going to have some that are going to say, where's my money? Because you're giving them out to every resident in town.
Yeah, I don't,
That's going to be a decision for the Board of Selectmen. That's going to be, I don't know if they will, but they can. I
yeah,
anticipate.
I don't know. It is what it is.
Correct.
Nathan, if we look at this, what do you need, 8,000 cans total?
Roughly, yes.
So the rental fee would be paid off in the first year. So that's a
Correct.
$400,000 savings to the town.
As you go forward.
Over the length of the contract, right?
Yep, correct.
Okay, thank you.
And I think we'd still need to have the dumpsters, right? Because isn't it a bigger?
Yeah, the dumpsters, we still have to have the dumpsters. We're gonna change some of that. And I may not be able to pull that out of the contract. That was a question that came up, and I'm waiting for an answer on it.
So some streets pile all their stuff at the end and then some have dumpsters and then some, like why couldn't they do it like the other streets and have containers at the end of the road?
Some of the problem is seasonal people. Some of the problem is location on the road. There's a lot of things that went into deciding what we did for dumpsters. We cut back the camp roads that we serviced. I want to say we knocked 8 or 10 out for not enough houses, not a good enough turnaround, so on and so forth.
Completely knocked out or dumpster knocked out?
Dumpster knocked out and bring your stuff out to the curb. We got 2 town roads that they won't go down because no turnaround, so.
What we found, I live off on the Camp Road, or a road.
Yeah, I used to live on Plummer
126.
Drive, it was the same way.
Right, and what happened was, when times would get so bad, the roads would get so bad, we would put a dumpster in, they would have a dumpster brought there. The problem is, everybody in the neighborhood was,
Yeah.
we had mattresses and TVs.
It was awful.
Anything you could think of, just piled at the end of our road, you know.
Yeah, and half the time it's not even people that live there, it's people that drive
That's what
by
I'm
and
saying, it's
see
not
it.
even, yeah, it's not
Exactly.
even somebody even lives there.
We found that anything that they could see from major roads, 85, 121, Egypt Road, stuff like that, you can't have it. They abuse it wicked. We've been fairly fortunate. The road right down here, I'm sorry, it's slipping my mind. Dryhead Woods. The people down there manage that very well, and they've got a pretty good plan down there. We don't have too much trouble with that one. We have Shaw Road down off from Raymond Cape. We have a little bit of trouble down there, but nothing that hasn't been manageable. So that's it in that program. Tipping fees went up. They're toying with $80 to $88 a ton from the $54 a ton we're paying right now. The recycling tipping fee actually went down by $5 for whatever reason in the contract. But the Mid-Maine Waste Management, we're a member town, has found that they can't operate at the rate they're doing, and they've got themselves in a little bit of a financial trouble. So they're having to bump out everybody's going up. But at $88 a ton, that's $27 or $8 a ton less than EcoMaine.
Yeah, you're basically coming up to market rate. You've been paying below market rate for years, which obviously has impacted their capital plan at Mid-Maine, or Midway. What is it? Mid-Maine?
Maine Waste to Energy.
Maine Waste to Energy.
Yeah. I had MWAC for years, and I can't get past that. It's the other. Can I go back to town buildings? We forgot that.
We're going,
position.
yeah, that's next.
That's next.
Any more questions on solid waste?
Everyone else set on waste? Okay.
So town buildings, we added $45,000 to salary. That's the position that Glenn talked about in his introduction. That's the custodial position to clean town buildings. And it went up on the heat on oil. It seemed, I hate to say it, but I think we're going to see an increase in that. And the utility line went up just by moving money from other accounts in.
Glenn, when would you expect this employee to start?
I mean, pending approval of the warrant, we would advertise and then probably discontinue the contracts with the contracted cleaning service. I mean, that's up to Nate operationally on how to implement.
We don't have a contract. It's a handshake. And I would assume July 1st when funding's available.
Which buildings?
It'll clean this one, town office, the library, where Parks and Rec's at. I'm missing one.
And what do we currently have now?
Fly by your seat of your pants, basically. We've got a girl that comes into the town office a couple hours a week. I think, and she does the library. She does an hour, half an hour down the library. I don't know how you clean half an hour. And that's it.
So just so I understand, so the salary is basically $39,000. Is that for the, you know, if you were to hire this position in July, like you said, the yearly salary is 39, give or take, but, or is it?
45.
Yeah, you're getting rid of the other person.
Yeah, we're getting rid of the other person.
Oh, okay.
Be one person.
So, all right, so I guess what I'm asking, so this is 45, but that won't start till July, so it's for the rest of the year, it's not $45,000 for the rest of this year, it's whatever.
Will be the
6
fiscal
months.
year.
Be the
so-
fiscal year. This is for the fiscal year coming
Okay.
up. We won't start this till July 1st. We don't have the funding for it. So we'll continue on the operation the way we're doing it right now. July 1st, hopefully we'll have somebody in place to start it.
Okay.
I mean, based on the last time I advertised for one of those, it'll be hit or miss whether we find
Yeah.
somebody, but they're out there.
Is that contracted?
Right now,
No, will that be?
it'll be an employee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the long-range plan would be, the Jordan Small Middle School is roughly 40,000 square feet, so you'll also be taking on managing that building in the future. So I imagine in future year budgets, you may want to consider, facilities and maintenance supervisor to oversee a custodian, and this will cover the town buildings now, and then as we sort of phase into that, if we occupy that building, you'll have someone.
I think once you move into the school or whatever becomes of the school, we'll have enough facilities that we'll need a maintenance person to oversee that. It's a lot with just what we have right now. You get into a newer building like that with newer technology, and it needs the right person running it. And then there's a lot of work up here year-round that needs to be done.
Would this position also include full benefits?
Yes.
Is that taken into account into the 45 or that's separate?
Yeah,
Salaries don't include benefits. There's a separate benefits line.
it's Fund 70.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's above this, though.
Yeah, it's over and above it.
but that's all built into the budget. Do you have anything else, Nate? I'm not
CIP, that's.
Yep, let's go over the capital plan.
So,
You're doing CIP now?
yeah. Get a glove, get in the game.
No, I'm
It's
saying,
in the rear of the book.
why didn't we do it with the other department?
Because they don't have anything.
Under 8?
Yeah.
Code enforcement?
Library?
Oops, 7, I'm sorry.
7.
I
Yeah,
thought they were.
starting on 7,
We get so many donations.
tab
Even
7.
need a CIP.
And then,
Pocket 7?
yep, tab 7 in your binders. And he's right after,
That's the fire department. Oh. 7's fire department.
right after IT.
It was just the 40. He asked for that 40. Remember?
Capital work.
I remember.
I'm sorry.
We didn't go to CIP for it.
No, we didn't. He just blew it out.
I'll also have it up on the screen too. As well.
It's fast to go to 8 and then flip. Get it?
Ready?
Maybe one more?
Let her rip.
Let her rip.
Okay, one more?
Everybody good?
Burning out gas.
Oh, goodness, one more.
All right, well, in the beginning of the meeting that Glenn had mentioned, we are looking at doing a lease program, and that'll encompass everything from the 550s down, not including the 550s. And the 550s are a medium-duty dump truck, plow truck that we have. So being that we're not there yet in what we are ready to do with that program, Glenn asked me to just do it as without that involved. So I've got 2 pickup trucks, one for Parks and Rec, and one for enforcement. The 2011 excavator has,
Sheet?
What's that?
Are we supposed to be finding this sheet?
No, that's not in your packet. I will have a finalized capital once we finalize capital. But I have that up just for reference.
the 2011 excavator, that is to a point where it needs to be replaced. Our wheeled rubber-tired loader that we load in the winter with, it's a 2016. Going to send that out for paint and rehab. There's an attachment that we want to buy for the loader. It's a shoulder box for replacing new shoulders after we're done paving. That gives me a $415,000 request. That is not right. Yep, that is right. And the final one would be, I'm not sure where we're at. I had talked to Brenda about replacing one more dump truck. It's a $300,000 purchase. So we go to,
That's for the next budget or this year?
I'd like to order it in this next budget, if we can.
What page?
I don't think we got the money. If we do something with the
What
leasing,
page are we supposed to be on?
Yeah,
You're on the
Yeah.
right page.
Glenn said something.
He's just
to me
doing an
about that.
overview of his capital, so it's all laid out in the narrative. And then there's
This
the
whole
last
leasing
page has a,
program is
like
a
a
deal
line
changer.
item account overview.
Good or bad?
Good.
The 10-year replacement
think so.
schedule, is that the,
No, if you keep going to the end, there's sort of a breakout of equipment.
Yeah,
Facilities.
yeah, and then it frees
paving.
up to make her larger purchases,
I don't have
I
that.
don't,
Yeah, it's this one.
and plus it covers all the
I think
maintenance.
it's the one we're talking about.
Is it just that?
The 10-year replacement, that's all.
And I got the capital request.
That is the
Hey, let me see your sheet.
old binder. So that,
The one you're going off of.
what should be in there.
I think it's just this,
It's just a
just a
narrative.
narrative.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
Is that,
there is
okay,
all right.
the capital request.
that's just my narrative.
Okay.
I think it's this.
Proposal.
This doesn't have a thing in it.
We don't have a spreadsheet.
No, his is not even a spreadsheet, it was just a.
Just this?
It was.
Do you guys have
He's
this
got
page?
this, he's got this, and you have this.
I got that.
Yes.
Okay.
I
That's
see
his
This
overview.
replacement.
It's sort of like that.
Oh,
Where were you?
Just,
So Nate, do you just want to go through equipment, facilities, and paving? They have the overviews in front of them.
Okay. So the equipment's $325,000. Facilities would be $35,000. Paving's $450,000. That's it for my CIP stuff.
yeah, then he had the.
One he's looking for.
so you said you will be providing a spreadsheet that lists out all the equipment with all the costs?
Yeah.
You
this-
should have had that from last year.
It's not in the book.
It's not in the book yet.
No, it's not.
Then we can see the overview of the expenditures per year of all the equipment that's expected.
I don't have it with me. You want to go over what we're paving, or?
Yeah, if you want to go over the roads.
Paving this year, we're looking at a 2-mile section of Raymond Cape. Elizabeth Ave, Viola, and Pine, that's left over from last year. We ran into some drainage problems with a contractor that's doing a solar farm. So we were forced to go somewhere else until he got his engineering done. That is done, and we're going to go forward with that. That Cape Road's $304,000. Viola, Elizabeth, and Pine is $318,000. For a total cost of $623,000.
304 and 318.
Yeah, $304,565.
Oh, you rounded up. I say those,
Yeah,
those
right.
two numbers don't make sense.
And
But we don't
Raymond,
have this in this book, right? What you're talking about right now, do we have this in this book?
No, I got that this morning. I can send it to you after the meeting. You had the total amount, you just didn't have the road list.
What else is there besides those two? For those two groups?
those two groups, that's it. We'll have money to carry forward, around $80,000 to carry forward.
Okay. What about Egypt? Whatever happened with that?
Egypt Road, we applied for an MPI grant. It got pushed off till next year.
Okay.
Haven't heard anything more from, we won't hear anything more about that until it'll be midsummer when they
Okay.
start doing the program for next year.
So you applied for a grant, but you haven't heard back?
We got pushed forward to
Pushed out to next year?
next year. Yeah.
That's for Route 85.
Egypt Road.
Egypt, yeah. How long is Raymond Cape?
Raymond Cape Road's 4.3 miles, I believe it is.
And this for the first half or the second half?
This is for the first half. We'll start at Wild Acres. That's where we started last year. The last time.
Last half.
Last time we did it. We paved that 25 years ago, I think it was.
So you're starting at the far half?
First half, yeah,
Okay.
far half. Wild Acres, and we'll work our way out.
Okay.
That's a little over 2 miles.
Okay, I have a question on the grant again, sorry to
Mm-hmm.
beat this. So does that mean that the project got approved and the funding will be next year, or the response will come next
The
year?
response will come next year. They did not approve it.
Do you know what their
Put it in
match
next-
percentage is for the MPI?
I'm sorry, what?
The match percentage?
50/50.
50/50.
And that's town and state?
Towns,
And Gray trying to do it at the same time, do you know?
correct. I haven't heard anything back from them.
The road, I understand that you ran into a paving up drainage problem last year, and where did that money go? I know you used it someplace else.
No, it's sitting in,
It's sitting
Yeah,
as,
yeah, yeah.
if you will, to be done this year.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were gonna use it last year someplace else.
no, we had a plan. We paved Tower Road, which was a surface on Tower Road, and Martin Heights was a shim and overlay, plus this project that we had to push forward to this year. Yeah, that's in a CIP account that rolls over every year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions or concerns from anyone? Okay, all right, I think we're all set.
That's it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Got a little extra time to spare. Do you want me to give an overview of the lease program a little bit before?
Sure, that'd be
I can just
great.
kind of give like a high level of it. So we sat down with Enterprise Fleet Management. They're on a Sourcewell contract, which you're already members of. So if the board did want to move forward with it, you'll have an action to review at the next meeting. But essentially, they leverage our government buying power to get vehicles from the factory direct, which is a discounted price. Enterprise has a secondary market that they can sell to, and then it's not like a traditional lease where you have a mileage cap. That equity is all yours. So it's when they sell on the secondary market, that residual comes back to us, and it kind of smooths out your capital over time, and you can plan your fleet replacements on a fixed budget. Other communities, Waterville, Ellsworth, Aroostook County, soon to be Saco, they'll be reviewing it in the coming year, have switched over to it. I've talked to other administrators who've rolled out the program. The estimates that they give are conservative too, so they've actually been doing better on the residuals. The other nice part is we can send preventative maintenance to A+ in Wyndham, which we can then plan a fixed maintenance budget around. But Nate and I have a presentation that we'll give to the board at the March meeting, but the goal would be to have your fleet on a 5-year refresh cycle, maximize the resale before depreciation kicks in, and then capture that residual back to your outlay, and then kind of smooths out your capital budget. Nate, what were you planning on annual vehicle replacements prior, like 200,000-300,000 probably?
325.
So you would probably be around 164,000 in OpEx, as opposed to these big years of capital outlay followed by a drop off or a big year of capital outlay. And you would be rotating the fleet in and out faster, which, optically, driving around in a new fleet, I've worked in towns long enough that the residents will call and ask, why are you driving around in a new truck? But we capture a really good discount from the factory, and sometimes Enterprise can kind of capture the resale. I mean, pickup trucks are very expensive now, even used ones.
So everything will be a lease, right? It won't be, we won't own it, we'll lease it?
So it's not like a traditional lease. We can, if we wanted to at any time, you could buy out the difference at the rate we're offered and own it. Or you can let them resell it, we capture the residual, and it comes off
At the
of.
time, when if they sell it, then that money will come back to the town.
Correct.
So if used vehicles sometimes go up, actually, because of the value of them. The shortage of vehicles, sometimes you might get more money out of them, correct?
I don't think we'll experience that again, where we had those supply
Yeah.
chain shortages and, you know, the previous public works director I worked with, the Trailhawk that he bought was worth more than we paid for it at one point. I think we paid 36 and I could get 32 for it after like 5 years or something.
I think what drives that was the cost of the new vehicles. People are looking for the ones that are gonna cost.
Yeah, and we don't put a ton of mileage on cars. I think we average 5,000 a year roughly on a fleet vehicle, so we have low mileage. Again, and so, like I said, I look forward to kind of presenting the whole program to you all to review, but that would be a significant departure from how you're doing it now. The good news is at least you don't bond for vehicles. That some towns do that, bonding for the depreciating asset. But you have a good replacement program now, but I think we can kind of make your capital outlay more predictable and get you some savings. But again, look forward to kind of doing that at the March meeting and getting that ready for you.
You're talking about A-plus, like the A-plus truck place.
Yep, they're one of the
Place up in
partners with
Casco,
Enterprise.
I think it's
So
Casco, yeah.
they already have an agreement with Enterprise. So any of those fleet vehicles, I think it's $40 or $60 a month. That includes parts, labor, everything. And over time, I know when I looked at the program in 2018, just attritioning a retirement of a diesel mechanic, we were paying $97,000 a year. And we had a fleet of 110 vehicles. I mean, that was cheaper than a mechanic's salary just to do the whole fleet on the maintenance program for preventative. But police chief didn't want to do it, so we didn't do it. Yeah, no, I look forward to kind of bringing that to you all at the next meeting. Anything else you want to touch on, Nate, or we're good?
As far as like racks, toolboxes, safety lights, branding, all that stuff, that has to, if it was only a 5-year, so these trucks are coming at, they're basically coming as stock vehicles, and we're outfitting them with that.
I think they said that was upfitted too.
Yeah, we could have them do the upfits. We could do them ourselves. We have a lot of freedom in how we do it. Once we get a better idea after the presentation of the direction you want to go, we'll start to get some real pricing on what's available. Because we can put orders in direct for the factory. We could do what they have available right now if we don't care about color or, you know, make or brand. And then we'll get some real price sheets, you know, in the coming weeks if we have the direction to move forward.
Yeah, I'd just be curious on that, like, if they come pre-outfitted, then that's one thing, but if we have to pay the outfitting as, you know, ourselves, and then we're returning a truck, I'm just kind of curious how that all.
Typically, the stuff we've got now, we do it ourselves in-house. Most of the stuff on our pickups have been on other pickups. We just swap it over and do that. My stuff is not that technical. It's a couple of strobe lights and a two-way radio, a couple of toolboxes. You can put one of them together in an afternoon.
So would we be able to use our stuff on the trucks? We wouldn't have to procure that along with?
You could get it from Enterprise, or we could do it in-house.
They offered it.
That's where the friction came with, if you had a police department, sometimes the light bars, the cages are, you know, they like Tahoes, they don't want to use Explorers, and then they have to re-upfit. So we don't have those issues. We have a couple command vehicles in the fire department, but you're not upfitting a 40 vehicle fleet of police cars. So we have a lot more flexibility with our admin fleet.
And then this, I think you touched on it, but this is all our vehicles, so is it just Public Works, or is it public safety?
All vehicles,
Yeah,
just not specialty vehicles. They don't do
anything under-
ambulances, they don't do, you know, F-550s. You're not going to do a wheeler.
No, it pretty much in our fleet from the 550s down. So they'll go up to a 1-ton. I don't know if you guys have seen it. The yellow truck, we have the crew truck. That's a 1-ton cab and chassis. But most of the stuff we're looking at is pickups and administration vehicles at the town office.
All right.
Okay. We're a little ahead of schedule, but I have outside agencies next. Are any folks here from an outside agency that's making a funding request? Do you want to come up and, we got two here. Sorry, I'm not familiar with folks yet. But do you want to just come up, introduce yourself and your request? Yeah. So in the very tab 8 of your book, we'll have an overview of your outside funding requests and the individual requests.
We have for this. That
Yeah.
shows last year's.
You should.
You should have received my form I filled out for the funding request
These are
for
all-
this year.
Yes. But I don't know where the big folds is.
We requested $2,000. It's the same amount we had requested, I think, the previous 3 years up until last year. Last year, we weren't alerted to this meeting, so we weren't able to put in our request for the funding. So last year was the year that we did not receive it.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the organization.
Raymond Radler.
Oh, that's what I thought. I'm looking at the amount.
Yeah.
And it was 2,000, you said?
Yes. I think for 2020,
Excuse us for
the
just a
last,
second. Some of us don't have complete sheets that have the column with the amounts in it.
Oh. Okay. Here. Oh, you guys got cut off.
DO7?
That's the very first page.
Um,
I don't think I saw quite.
Okay, I'll put it up on the screen.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Mine's
Thank
like a
you.
Column
Prices
cut off
on
on yours.
You got prices?
Sorry for the interruption.
2,000.
oh, that's fine.
I was looking at their application.
You have space for it? I can run down real quick if you want to write it in. Or is it completely?
Oh, there's enough space.
There's enough space.
It's 2,000 for them.
Yeah, you can look at these, each one of these. No, 2,000 would be this.
Let me
You
go
want
for
to
it?
go
Right,
through
yeah.
the whole column?
It's pretty fast if you want.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
ready.
guys are ready?
Oh, you're
Yes,
Ready?
we're ready.
But ours only starts at Raymond Radler's. I think
Oh, okay,
yours-
never mind. There is a Crescent Lake Watershed Association at the top.
Yes.
1,500.
Oh,
Oh, we don't have that.
hold on. Melissa planned for this. I just didn't hand it out. I'm sorry.
Oh,
The handout is right here.
oh,
Sorry. I got
Never mind, you guys are good.
thank you.
This one's on me. That's what that folder was for.
Thank you.
He's the one I-
Thank you. Is anyone else missing the one with the cutoff columns?
Yep, so perfect.
Thank you, Melissa.
Okay. All right, are we all set now?
Yeah, we're ready.
Are we good? Okay, sorry, go ahead. Thank you. Sorry for the interruption.
Okay, I don't know if I introduced myself. My name is Alan Plummer. I'm the current president of the Raymond Radlers
Right.
Snowmobile Club. I don't know what else. I think in the paperwork that I filled out, there was a request for basically our mission, services that we provide to the town. Number of Raymond residents served. I can read through that if you don't have copies of that.
there any way you guys can produce snow with that?
Unfortunately, no, it's, if our mission, it all depends on, we do the best that we can, but it all depends on Mother Nature cooperating. This year's been a really good year for it because we received a snowstorm back in December. We had the cold weather, lakes are frozen, so it's been great for anybody who likes to get outdoors and either ski or snowshoe or, downhill skiing and things like that, as well as the snowmobile clubs.
Didn't they say that the lake froze even more solidly this year than it has in
Than they
many
have in
years?
the last,
30.
Well, I think they said that the big bay of Sebago was frozen over, and that hadn't been, the last time that was like 2017.
Yeah.
Well, it froze last year, but not safe enough,
but
as
not
people
safe,
kept going
yeah.
through.
Yeah, so, yes, this is the type of year that we as snowmobilers live for. I'm able to ride right from my house, which is, we've already done that for a couple weekends this year, where last year we only did it for 2 weekends and that was it. This money, I think there was a questionnaire that asked me about that and what we'd use this money's for. We used to purchase fuel to operate the club's 2 Scandics, our side-by-side, and a Jeep Cherokee groomer that we used to groom the pipeline. We used to maintain the snowmobile trails in Raymond. We used to also purchase grade stakes for trail signage, lumber to repair, or if deemed necessary, to replace a bridge. We've replaced most of the ones in our system. We have about 9 bridges in our trail system. Oil and chainsaws for the oil and chain for the chainsaws, brush saws for clearing brush and down trees. Purchasing parts needed to fix any one of the club's pieces of equipment should it suffer a breakdown during the season. We also have liability insurance that we pay every year, as well as property taxes on the 13 acres of property that we actually own off of 121, just off the pipeline down from the pumping station. All members of the club are volunteers. No club member is paid for their labor. It's all volunteer. This money is on a year like today, on a year like we're having this year, and this money is essential for helping to pay for fuel, because you can go through, I think one of our groomers, he said he'd gone through a couple $100 worth of fuel already. We do get some donations in from people who see our groomer out, or if we have a club event, then they'll donate money, which is usually averages between $500 and $1,000 a year. We might get as far as donations go. Our membership, I think, is running right around 30 individual or family memberships. We usually have about 10 business memberships or so every year, and I guess that's about it. I guess I would ask if anybody has any questions of me that I can answer, or
I'm just curious, how many miles of trail do you have?
see, it's approximately 30, which it's a fair estimate. Most of it is the pipeline, and we have a trail that goes out from the pipeline over to Crescent Lake, from Crescent Lake over to Raymond Pond, and from Raymond Pond up to Rattlesnake. Oh, not Rattlesnake.
Black Cat.
Black Cat. Yes. Thank you.
Right. Any other questions or comments? Okay, we're all set. Thank you very much, Al, for coming tonight.
Thank you very much.
I know the Historical Society's here, so I'll invite them up next.
Hi, I'm David Allen. I'm representing the Historical Society. Bill Brennan would be here tonight, but he's stuck on I-95 somewhere south of Connecticut, so he's not going to make it. We requested $2,000, I believe, which is been very generous the last few years. It's a slight increase over what we've asked in the past. We do ask the same request of Casco, and they've also been very consistent with helping us out. We're entirely volunteer. We have our campus up in South Casco. And let's see, many of you are familiar with the Watkins blacksmith shop. We've been working on it for several years. That's up and running. And now at the point where we keep it open almost every weekend day in the summer. It's open at least once during the weekend. The latest project that we brought on is something called the Roosevelt Trail History Tour. I'm not sure if you've seen advertisements. Last year was the first year for it, but we worked with the Hawthorne House to put this together. We have 8 associations from Westbrook to Bridgeton and then over to Scribner's Mills. And the idea is that, excuse me, a lot of people don't know when these societies and venues are open. So we put together a tour in the weekend in September where we're all open at the same time. People can leave Portland and head all the way to Bridgeton, stopping along the way and checking out some of the lesser-known venues. It was a great success. I think most of the organizations saw a year's worth of attendance in one day. And this year it's already in planning stages, and hopefully we'll be expanding it to other parts of Western Maine. We've been renovating the museum. For those of you who haven't been in the last year or two, we've redone the bathrooms to make them more handicapped accessible. Now the entire museum is handicapped accessible. We have kitchen facilities to make it possible to function as small refreshments and groups. We've opened and redone the exhibits. The main hall is opened up, and so now we can, people, groups and organizations need a place to have a meeting or put on a lecture. We're now available for that. We're completely handicap accessible from the ground in and with enough room for buses and handicap vehicles. Let's see, we've been now back to fairly regular lecture series. That's something that's been missing for the last 20 years. The next goal is to open up a more experiential learning opportunities where we can bring in woodworkers, blacksmiths to actually teach classes to the public, all ages. But we really do like to work with homeschoolers, kids in that age, and we're now reaching the point where our biggest handicap is the number of volunteers we have. We're still running, we haven't got back to pre-COVID days, but we're adding very enthusiastic volunteers every year, and it's allowing us to expand somewhat, but that's kind of the governor on what we can do. So we've got an appeal out there for anybody who might be interested in working at the museum, putting programs together, working on the collections, giving tours to school groups, working with homeschool kids. We'd love to talk to you, and that's really the biggest part of the appeal is we now need more help than anything else. So, but I'm here to answer any questions you might have.
Glenn, I got a question for you. He's, in his application says 2,000, but in the front here it says only 1,800.
Yep, I made the note already on the overview sheet.
So it should be 2,000, right?
Yeah.
Yep, the request form he sent had 2,000. The overview sheet had 1,800.
I think Ingo's involved with that, right? Ingo.
Yeah, Ingo's, he's been there, he's been involved with us a lot, many years, and last year he started a bee program, which has been very popular with the kids. The farm is a perfect place for it.
All right, thank you very much.
Sorry, I don't know your name, but I'll invite you up.
Abel.
Which organization?
Waterworks.
Well,
Hawthorne House.
I'm Abel Bates, and I'm one of the trustees at the Hawthorne
House.
Community Association. And I assume that you guys all got the letter that Mary Ann sent to you, had a chance to look it over. Very inclusive as far as what we've been doing for the last 6 years or so, and what our financial status is right now. For those of you who haven't followed this for the last 6 years, basically, in 2019, we got together and looked at the building and said, we got two choices. One is either to fix the building, or the second one is just knock it down in the foundation hole, cover it up, and put a monument there. That's how bad it was. And so over the last 6 years, we've raised, mostly by donations, $160,000, more or less, with hundreds of hours of volunteer work on this. And we got the building in pretty good shape. It's, you know, you can look at the letter, it'll tell you just what we've done, and it's been a lot. And the goal behind it was to increase our membership, open it up more to the community, because there is no place in the town of Raymond that can do the kinds of events that the Hawthorne Community Association building can do. And we try to keep our prices down low so that people have the opportunity to use it, but we also want to make sure that we bring in enough money that we can pay our annual operating costs. The town's been pretty generous with us since we started the project. We were getting $1,000 a year, and except I think that went up to $2,000 for a year when our insurance went from $450 to $3,000 a year. So as of this spring or so, we were getting everything together. The building's all pretty much all done. Everything's new, shiny. People that come in, they love it. They said it's a great facility. They were very impressed when they came through. They loved that historical tour that the Historical Society set up, and we were on the tail end of that. Usually they're on their way home, and we were like the last stop, and the people they were really excited about that. The places that they went, they really liked, and they'd like to see it happen again. But anyway, back to our big increase in asking for money for this year. What we found that as the years have gone by, every time we make an improvement, our costs go up. And last year, we found that we had a residential fire alarm system that was hooked into the fire department. And then we were told, and we were told that we could have 58 or 59 people. That would be our limit. Then we were told, so we did that. And then we were told that we needed a commercial system in. So I started getting estimates for a commercial fire alarm system, and the first one was about $10,000. And I said, wow, you know, that's enough to knock anybody over when you got a budget like we have. So we kind of dilly-dallied around with it and talked to the fire department, which was very helpful. They, you know, could see what we were in bad financial straits. So we got another estimate that was $20,000. We didn't have it. But we're in a situation now where we're not going to be able to open the doors for the things that we like to do. Open it up for the public to have small gatherings, have educational things. We've had politicians come in and talk to Chris Knows. He was there at one. He was a panel member. We've had kids from Wyndham High School come in. We are also offering, you know, art classes, beginning watercolor. I mean, there's lots of things that we're doing that are good for the community. And the community, the town does have us on their website as an advertisement. So anyway, what happened is we have to put in this system this year. And I talked to the folks who gave us the initial estimate. They are willing to stay with the initial estimate based on a couple of changes that the fire department recommended, that we meet C 1972, section XYZ or something like that. So that could fluctuate, and that estimate was like, I think, $9,800, $9,855. That does not include the $600 a year as an annual
expense for monitoring the system. So, it pretty much adds another $1,000, or at least $10,000 more or less is what this is going to cost us. And if we pay it out of our existing funds that are available, it will leave us pretty much empty to cover our annual, our operating costs. And we want to be in a situation, we're not there to make money, but we would like to get to the point where our income from the use of the building will cover our annual costs, and also give us a little bit so we can have a capital reserve account, so when something does go wrong, we don't have to try to do another fundraiser for it. We've been to the well many times, and I'm kind of afraid the well might be drying up. You can only go there so many times, and people are going to respond. And so that's why we've increased it this year to $5,000, which will pay about half of the fire alarm system that we're required to have. And one other thing that's hurt us is that we started out with, after the fire department first came in, we could have 60 people. But now we're down to 49 people as a maximum in the building. Well, if we have some kind of an event there that people are paying $20 a piece for, we're losing 10 people every time we do it. And a couple of $100 means a lot to us towards covering our costs. So that's where we are. Anything the town feels generous about, would like to give us more than that if you want. That'd be great. And I see Mary Ann's face up there, our current president who wrote the letter. I don't know whether she can respond to anything. You might have some questions. So if you do have questions, I'll do what I can to answer them.
So were the 49 people max, excuse me, what you have now, or is that with the new system?
That's right now.
Right now, okay.
By putting the alarm system in, as I understand it, that will not change the maximum. The only thing that will increase it is by putting in another form of egress. We have turned the door around so it's an outswing door, but that didn't change it at all. And with a historic building and on a very small lot, and would require a ramp, I'm not sure where we could put it. So.
The amount you're looking for is
And that would cost us another $10,000.
So we need to change that on that
It's only
sheet too.
1,000 on the sheet.
Yeah, the initial request I have on the sheet is 1,000. What's the total request you're asking for the town?
What I've got for an estimate on, I didn't have my hearing aids in, so you might have to speak a little louder.
Oh, so just want to confirm the request from municipal funding. I have 1,000 on the initial sheet. Is that correct?
I believe the letter, if I have it here.
No, I'm sorry, this is Mary Ann. Good evening. The request is $5,000. We received $1,000 last year and in previous years.
I see.
Yeah.
It's in the third paragraph of the second page of the letter. Kind of leave the surprise till the end. I can read it to you if you don't want to page through. It's just one paragraph, it's very short. In order to avoid closing the Hawthorne House, we were able to invest $7,000 towards a commercial fire alarm system. We respectfully request that the town of Raymond invest the remaining $5,000 so they may keep this historic treasure open and vibrant with community activities.
So I would
We don't have the letter.
We don't have the letter.
I don't have the letter in my packet either. I have the application.
I've got one that I can leave here if you want to copy it. They got a little too close to the vegetables when we went. It's a little smeared on the front.
I'll take it and I can disseminate it.
Yeah, there's more than the letter. There's.
Yeah, I have the application request. I have the bylaws. I have
The bylaws, I don't think the,
And it's hard on the application
financials.
request. It must have like smeared out because there's nothing about
yeah,
not being
like got
requested. so
copied
that's
and it
why.
looks
Yeah.
like they
The
copied it.
financial summary, the programming plan, and the investments that have been made in the house were also part of the packet.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah, we
that.
got that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And I also have the correspondence between the Pine State Fire and Security and representative of the fire department, if that's an interest to you.
Abel, would this be a one-time 5,000?
Yeah, unless you guys feel real flush. No, but no, really, yes, this is a one-time. This is specifically for the alarm system.
Thank you.
Can I just add one thing, or is this not a good time?
Sure, go ahead.
I was just going to say, our biggest concern here is that if we cannot install a commercial fire alarm system, we will not be able to operate. That's our understanding. So it is a critical project for us. And for the town of Raymond, I should say.
How
So
quickly?
you guys can't operate over 50, or you can't operate at all?
At all. We were asked to produce a plan to the fire department for how we're going to move forward with a commercial fire alarm system by the end of March. So,
So the fire
it's not
department's saying you can't use it at all
correct.
if you don't have the system?
That's correct.
But would they allow you to open if they saw that you had the plan in place to put it
Yes.
together? Perfect, okay.
Yes, that's right.
I'm confused.
Did you turn that, was that turned into,
Excuse me?
was this turned in as well? When you turned
No,
in the
this is
pa-
just that my
We'll take
back
it.
and forth with
We'll
the,
put it in the, we'll add it to our documents.
sure, I can make copies.
Thank you.
I think there's two of those estimates. One was from last May,
Okay.
and then there's a more recent one I just printed out today.
Okay.
I think it's using the same one, but there might be some changes to that, and that's what's outlined in that other page.
Okay.
We need to talk to.
There's some things that we need and some things that we don't need. so-
Can I ask if you have documentation from the fire department about this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we take a look at that?
You want it now?
I just want to take a
Fire
look.
department, though.
No, well,
This
it's,
is like, it's, it's what the,
This is the sprinkler
proposal.
system, or fire alarm, whatever
That's-
they're putting.
That's the estimate for,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's not the fire
We have
department.
email correspondence if that's what, if
yes, I would
that would
like
be
some of those.
helpful. We can get that to you.
Okay. Would you mind giving them to the town manager so we can?
Yeah, it's fine. Just send it to me.
You need to be hydrated.
Yeah, you gotta be
Put that in my packet. Does anyone want to look at these? I'll
questions?
just put them aside to disseminate.
I don't have any more. No, so-
Empty your pockets.
All right. I won't buy much.
All
All right,
Thank you, Abel.
all right, thank you.
Any
And
other,
Mary Ann, thank you.
are there any other outside agencies on the Zoom, or no one else is here? But I don't see anybody up there.
Who is Bill Brennan?
Bill is from the Historical Society. He was already presented.
Okay, all right.
He was in the car.
Right, unless he represents another entity I'm not aware of, but, yep. So I'll just do a quick overview of some other things that are in the outside agencies packet for folks that aren't here. One of the requests in there is actually not one we
Have a good night.
have an option to not fund, which is the PACT dues for GPCOG. That's part of the MPO and the federal requirements of the MPO. Joining GPCOG is a separate thing. This is just the outlay annually for your MPO dues.
Which one was that?
That is it's GPCOG, PACTs, it's
Oh, I see it. That one is-
3257.
So that's 3,257?
Yep, that's part of a federal thing.
So we have
now-
to pay that?
Yep. There has been discussion among the board about joining GPCOG as a dues-paying member. That is not part of this, and that discussion will happen at some point in the future. The other one was I got a request, what's today, the 24th? Last week, very late, past the deadline, from the Bridgeton Chamber of Commerce. It's not in your packet because I did not include it. My question to the group would be, I believe you gave them $500 last year. This year, they're asking for $12,000 to fund 10% of their operating budget. I'm happy to include that request at a future meeting, but it came in late, came in past the deadline. It's the first time they're asking for this. And I wanted to give an overview. I can include it at a future meeting, but it came in last week. And it is for a little bit over $12,000.
Can you just repeat the name again?
The Bridgeton Chamber, I believe it was.
Yep.
Bridgeton Chamber.
Bridgeton Chamber of Commerce. Do you have do we have in here, or do you happen to know, or can you get what we did last year for each one of these?
Yeah, I can get that for you.
Okay.
The other ones are in here. If there's any questions, I can reach out on the board's behalf. If there are any questions about their requests, they have not come tonight. The one I can touch on that you do every year is the Raymond Waterways, and that's for the milfoil. I spoke with her today on the phone, and that's an annual.
Did that go up? Do you know?
It's $7,500 this year. Brenda, do you know what it was last year?
It's fine. I can figure it out.
I
later.
think it's the same.
It's the same.
Pretty close.
Sounds like the same.
It's, yeah. And then we have a grant too that funds a portion of that mitigation and a portion of the TIF, I believe. But if there's any other questions on SMAA, Day One, Lifelight, Spurwink, or Crescent Lake, I'm happy to reach out to those folks if anyone has questions.
I have one. Remember the dam? Did we do that out of select board, or was that going to be on this? I know they presented.
I don't know what organization that's for or the history on that
I
project.
thought it.
TPIA.
Thomas Pond.
Yeah, Thomas Pond.
Thomas Pond.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a TPIA, I think is the actual website.
Yes.
And
I think that was last year. Yeah, that was last year.
That was-
It's already done. It was done in, it was done
Okay.
in
No, I don't have a request from them.
November,
That was
October.
It was a standalone article, if I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was voted on.
And it's all done.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And you said on the Bridgeton Chamber of Commerce, you thought we gave 500 last year.
That was what a staffer told me today, that we gave them 500 last year. But again, they sent theirs in, I think it was the 18th or the 19th, we usually request that folks get it into us by December 31st. And in their application, they do outline this is a first-time ask of the municipalities. So came in past deadline, I didn't include it, but if folks want to see it, I'm happy to put it in a future packet.
I don't think we did.
Wyndham, I
Oh, thank you.
Did they say what the monies were for?
Oh, yeah, I just, if it was a non-starter because you haven't funded it historically, I wasn't going to include the whole
Yeah.
thing. But if you're interested, I'm happy to disseminate it.
Ride with the Raymond Rattlers.
Okay.
Okay, I'll send it along. It's no big deal. I just,
You got it right.
they were very late with their request.
Glenn, does the transportation come under this, or
So that
is
is
an
a s-
outside agency, or is it kind of a standalone?
That is, there's been a lot of discussion on that. I've had questions from Derek and the board. That's that RTP. I don't have it in outside agencies. We have it as a separate part of the expense budget.
okay.
I did invite Don Libby to this meeting. He
Yeah, I remember.
didn't come. So he did say he was going to get me a ridership report, but that's the last I heard from him.
Would you expect maybe they'll do a presentation at the next one of these?
He did not respond to that. Like I said, I invited him to tonight's meeting, and the reply was, "I'll send you the ridership report." So I will reach out to him. And do you all want him to come to a future workshop?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
we would.
Okay.
So these are the ones you mentioned, like the Lifelight and Crescent Lake watershed, I guess. Are these what we gave last year? Like the 1134 for Lifelight?
I can quickly pull up the warrant. I just have the gross expense on my sheet. Unless, Brenda, do you know off the top of your head?
I don't think so.
No, I can pull up the warrant and look at
I think
it.
we
So
did
these are all
Crescent-
new?
We did Crescent
No,
Lake.
I think we did some of them, but he said he's gonna get us what we did last year for next time, so we can
Yeah.
kind of jive.
Yeah, I just have the gross expense. I did, because there was.
I have it in my book at my house
Yeah.
from last year. If we need it.
Okay. I always leave my department at the end in case we've overrun and you don't want to do it, and I can always do it at another meeting, but I'm happy to present on admin tonight or at a future meeting. It's up to you all. I have it on the schedule and we're on time, so I saw Sam did leave, but,
We'll keep on going.
okay.
You guys will want to keep on going.
Yep. Any questions on outside agencies?
just where's it at, under 7?
It's going to be under 6, and it should be the first one.
Have a good night. Okay, we will. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right. You get a 3-for-1 with admin. So under your general government cost center, administration covers my office, finance, and the clerk's office. You're going to see from last year an increase of 28.5%. The variance on salaries, that includes a 3% COLA. My salary, which is roughly 28-30% more than you had budgeted for the prior town manager. It also includes the restoration of that position in the front office to succession plan for the deputy clerk position. That will be a split position with finance to do some bookkeeping and also to train to become our tax collector when Sue retires. You're going to see an increase to contracts, fees, and services. I wanted to budget an additional $25,000 for potential needs assessment for the Jordan Small Middle School. Without having sort of the clearest vision, that may be more than $25,000 depending on how the board wants to approach that project. I looked at the vision committee's work, talked to staff. There are different ideas for different things. Obviously, some of the projects would require more design work. So I anticipated if you wanted to do a more in-depth needs assessment, Sebago Technics did get back to me and said that would be closer to $100,000. But we can use select board contingency or budget for it. It's just we don't really have a clear idea of what the end product will be at the moment. So I would say between 25 to 100,000 just to do an initial needs assessment.
Is that under the contract fees?
Yeah, I budgeted about 25 in there. I actually would feel comfortable putting another 10 in there. That was one of those lines that I was talking about at the Budget Finance Committee meeting where I was trying to find the historical recurring expenses that sort of come out of that. And I was, I knew Harris would probably be one of those things, which is around 10 or 12 grand, and which was coming out of there. But we've prepaid for the AP system implementation, so we won't see an expense come out of there for 3 years for that. But Harris will be around 10 or 12, which leaves us like, so 45. Yeah, that should do it for needs assessment plus those contract fees.
The initial request is $45,000, right?
Yeah, you could really spend quite a bit though on a needs assessment depending on what you want. So that may change. We broke out legal and audit separately. That was one line item in the previous year. You've had quite a bit of legal expenses this year. I don't anticipate that you will have that anomaly next year, but budgeted 50, which is a little bit higher than the historical amount of 36 last year. Audit is the audit. We know what that costs. And we do have a gubernatorial election coming next year, right, Mel?
In November.
Yeah, so that's why you see a little bit of a bump in elections. Do we get more DS200s for those, or do we use the same amount?
No, because we don't have a municipal election in
Okay.
November, but the state is going out to bid for newer machines, and we'll be the ones who the cost is passed on to.
Of course.
But at this point, they have no idea how much the new machines will cost. And that's a process they haven't actually started yet, but it's another prediction.
So that number's not in here, right?
What's that?
That's your 18,000.
That's the 18,000?
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to point out, let me find it, would be your dues. Where's that line? Dues and publications. So that will cover your MMA membership, which we joined in January. Also covers staff association memberships. and my ICMA membership, and that is going up. The MMA itself is a $10,000 expense. So
That's a total of 18.
a total of 18. And again, because this is sort of a 3-department cost center, we're all here to answer any other questions you might have on any other items in that.
Really should change.
So the successor for the tax collector, are you you mentioned it, are you planning to hire within, or are you hiring a new person, or do we have somebody we can hire within that has interest?
We actually know somebody locally that has experience doing that type of work, but is on maternity leave and looking to come back, and we would encourage her to apply and, go from there.
Cool.
Glenn, would there be any possibility to get a wire diagram of all the positions and the vacant ones, the ones that are proposed? It might make it easier for everybody to visualize it.
Right, I was looking for a summary of what positions you would like to, new positions that are being added, what the salaries are, what the benefits cost.
Yeah, we, what did we budget the deputy at, like 24 or 25 an hour?
The deputy?
The position we're restoring an admin for the Sioux Finance.
24.
24.
Yeah,
Okay.
per hour. I think it's based on a
I'd love to see more.
40-hour work week because it would be split initially until she took over full-time.
Yeah, you guys don't have a set salary schedule, so typically, like in a budget presentation, I would have an ordinance or a policy with salary schedules, but you don't have that document historically. But I'd be happy to. I mean, I think that's also part of the town report, right? You do a salary report as part of the town report.
I think we're looking like maybe more about positions within the town, of like, how many people work in certain departments.
Well, there is an org
And
chart.
what the new proposals, where they fall, and
Yeah, well, there's only 2 new positions. That it's the restoration of that position in that department, and then the janitor that.
well, I thought there was another shared position. that we
Library.
talked about.
So you have the restored position, then a new position with Public Works that would be the janitor or, facilities. And then there's a per diem position that Nathan mentioned moving to a full-time position.
Right.
So I guess that doesn't count as a new position. And then the library was asking for a part-time new position.
Like I say, I just think it'd be nice to have a wire diagram I can look at. and
That's
say,
fine.
That's an addition here, and this is where they fall.
Yep, and then there was, the assessing one was just how it was appropriated. It all comes out of general government. It was split historically out of 3 departments, but the full expense comes out of assessing in this budget. That didn't change, just how it gets broken down. But other than that, is there any other questions on line items for admin?
If I could just speak to the line item for the audit. The number that's in there now, that was in anticipation if you stayed with the same auditor again for another year. Because you're always kind of looking forward on that number. So that would be for this number that you see in this budget would be for the audit for the year that we're in right now. But technically,
15,000?
after about 3 or 4 years, it's usually common practice that the town goes out to bid so that you can get a new auditor or have the option to maybe look at other auditors.
You're talking about the 15,000, correct?
Yeah, the
3119.
yes, it's 3119.
Which is 15.
So it's been 3 years?
I think it's been more. I think you guys have been with them longer than that even. I know it's at least 3.
Well, if that's
But
general
if,
practice, then.
so what
by all
I'm
means,
saying
I
is
think.
if you do that and you do go out to bid, that number would have to be more than that because you're looking at probably a higher cost. for the audit?
Yeah, I went to RFP for audit last year. There are a few firms basically in Maine that are doing this work. RHR Smith is one, CBiz is another, RKO, and a couple others, Barry Talbot, Royer. You can actually hire this Office of the State Auditor, but he is quite expensive, so I don't recommend hiring him. But when we went out to bid, it was almost double what RHR was charging. So you have some positives. One, you don't have a school department, you don't have single audit because you don't get a ton of federal funds. So you wouldn't have to worry about some of those more costly parts of the audit, but it will, I would imagine, if you went to bid, it would probably double. And I don't believe RKO is actually taking new clients. They dropped, I think they dropped Portland or Biddeford. They dropped one of them and aren't taking new clients.
No, that would be for the FY '26, what we're doing right now.
So we're supposed to go out to bid. We haven't in quite some time, but when we do, we're going to go up.
You're always like a year.
Yeah, part of the reason you haven't gone out to bid probably is because no one would bid on it. I don't know if that market has changed significantly, but there are 490 plus municipalities and 4 or 5 audit firms that I'm aware of doing most of that work.
It would be probably better off not to.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like, you're supposed to understand, but when you do, you're smacked.
And that was sort of when I looked at it 2 years ago. You know, RHR was like, "This is the price you're getting, but if you go out to bid, it's going to be a different price."
I think we just stay where we're at.
Any other questions on admin?
I'm not sure, but I think we found under tab 4 that you already have that line set up with who's under who. So if you go into your tab 4, your tablet mark 4.
Oh, you mean the org chart?
Yeah.
That's what I mentioned. It may not include new positions, but it has.
Right.
Perfect.
But I mean, at least it's breaking it down so we understand who's under who.
Glad I had seen this.
Yeah, in the
I didn't
front,
go any
yeah.
further.
Okay. So the next workshop will go over sorry. Let me just pull up the website. That's faster.
Is it March 3rd?
Yeah.
Is that the next?
Yeah, so next workshop, we have fire rescue. Assessing will be on vacation, so he did that tonight. Recreation, revenues and debt service, and IT. We will also, we have the 10th reserved as a workshop. If we needed it, I anticipate we do. I'd like to discuss the TIF spending plan, either at the next workshop if there's time, or the 10th, and to do a capital overview as well.
And when I was watching the last select board, you guys had the gentleman in on that TIF. I learned a lot out of that. I mean, that presentation he put together, I printed, it's a lot of printing, but it was very educational. Yeah, it was.
Okay. Is there anything from tonight that you would like to have for the next meeting that you may need more info on, or any other questions?
Just some of the backup that they were going to be getting.
Yep.
For the different numbers.
And then
Well,
for
I
the
made notes on each of the ones that we went through.
So did I,
What
but we can
folks want,
cross-reference our notes.
yeah.
And then for the Hawthorne home, I wouldn't mind seeing some communication. I think I already mentioned it, but like to see exactly what the fire department is saying.
Yep, the correspondence about the fire,
Sprinklers, because I'm just, the reason why I bring it up is our
I'm making notes on your stuff.
ordinance
Sorry.
changed.
Yeah,
So I'm just kind of.
That's a public gathering place. That's,
Sure.
that hasn't changed a whole bunch recently. And you're tied to some stuff.
I'd like to see what it's all about.
Okay.
Any
What-
other concerns?
I got one other question. Have you got a number that says what kind of a tax increase this is as it sits right now?
Because of the reval, it would be premature to speculate on a mill rate.
Reval isn't gonna hit this tax cycle, right?
It will in September.
Okay, for some reason I thought it was kind of,
No, well,
Next-
they'll finish in the spring, I believe, and then that'll all start going out.
but
to
this starts in July. So,
Correct. Well, you'll commit taxes in August or September, and then bills will go out for October.
but never mind and I don't care what the evaluation is. I want to know what the percentage total is between last year's total budget and this proposed budget.
So the school will introduce their budget.
School,
Right. They have not introduced yet. County is 5.37. If they lose the contract, that's 13. So it's premature to speculate on a levy increase at this point.
yeah, but we know what this is.
We know what that is.
No, I think Cliff just wants
I want to know what
increase.
this
I don't think-
package, how much this went up.
I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's
It'll be in-
18.2%.
Yeah, that's in the overview.
That's in that,
beginning.
that's in.
So,
I
right,
guess it-
as this stands, we're looking at 18.2% increase.
To gross expenditures.
That's the question I was asking. Thank
Sorry, I
you.
thought you were asking
guys
for
came
the
up
tax
with that.
rate.
Yeah, it doesn't break it.
Number in one of your
He's-
meetings.
He was
Right?
asking
When
for
you had the tax meeting, that's the number you guys picked, right, was the 18%, right?
Right, and that's a gross expenditure, so that's
Right.
not, that doesn't anticipate using any undesignated fund balance. That, the TIF offsets a portion of those expenses as well, but that's just a gross expense total of 18.2%.
Oh, set. Okay. Great.
That's the number I was looking for.
Okay, all right. If there are no more questions or concerns, then we are adjourned.